Welcome everyone to coloring session number 2 for Resonance from Dance Dreams Coloring Book, Volume 1 by Christy Mijak, who is me. And if this is your first time joining us, remember there's no right way, there's only your way when it comes to coloring. And I'm here to guide you through the lines of my book. You can make choices. Sometimes you can color over lines or, like disregard them or highlight them. Even draw new lines for yourself where you like. And pick whatever colors appeal to you or follow along with me. I have a lot of pencils here. They're combinations from the years. I have Crayola to a more expensive Colore set, which I think is even like more like a middle of the road kind of pencil. So you can learn some techniques from me to make your coloring fun and interesting and also relaxing. So take a deep breath, exhale. This is fun and calming. If you find yourself getting stressed, think it's probably because you're trying to create some kind of perfection, and that's not really essential to the enjoyment of this. So remember, if you really don't like what you've done, you can always start again. That's why I think the digital downloads are a great way to go, because you can print out as many as you would like. Same thing with your coloring book. Feel free to scan and copy, share with your friends, have a coloring party. I don't mind, the more the merrier. So I think I'm gonna continue working out this way for now. And I had this like a light blue color working, so I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna start with that. And I think I'm going to start going into some purple colors. So, yep, that's close. So I'm going to go dark against that line and light, and then we'll do dark on the other line. So we're trying to create that like a tube. It's a beautiful summer day outside of Philly here. Not too humid. And right now it's quiet, taking advantage of it. They're building an addition next door, so my quiet mornings are a thing of the past for now. We'll see how long it takes them. It's a 2-story, so not sure. But I think they may be on their afternoon break, the gentleman working out there. A reprieve. They're sawing cinder blocks in half, so you can imagine that lovely noise. I can tell my pencils are a little sticky today. So sometimes the page gets a little sweaty. If you want to put another piece of paper under your hand to keep that from happening, because it will affect your pencils. And then there was a teal that I was working with that I'm going to bring in. I think I have a lighter one. Sharpen it up. I forgot to make a cup of tea for myself. I may have to remedy that. So this is a little more green, but that's okay. And darken it up a little bit in there. That makes a nice transition there. If you press harder, remember, you get the more solid colors. This company, their pencils have like a pastel-y feel, kind of like a crayon actually, a little waxy. So sometimes I can get some neat textures out of them too. If you're coloring with a harder pencil, you're going to get more of a like not pastel, but like a softer color. But you won't get as much texture, so it's nice to have a collection of different kinds, and then you can discover what each is good for. So there we go with that. And I'm gonna go back to the blue here. Oops, this pen needs some sharpening. Those of you coloring with me know I don't like to sharpen my pencils. I mourn the moment because I feel like I'm decreasing their lifespan. So I try to eke out as much as I can before I do that. There's a little bubble we're gonna save. You can also color over the bubbles and then either use a white paint pen later or a Sharpie. And I'm going to do some playing here. And I'm going to follow this line there. And you can come along with me or make your own choices here. So these are like waves of energy. You can also think like ripples in a pool if you drop a pebble in the water. There's a little one in there. I'm gonna darken up the top so we can pull that out a little bit more. This pencil is really soft. So I'm gonna go in this hole here. And we'll do another one, but I'm gonna do this one lighter. So I'm gonna start converting over. I'm gonna go into here a little bit. I like when things look kind of like stained glass and they're overlapping and a watercolory look. So I'm going to do this one soft too. And these two. And by going darker along against those lines, I'm kind of hiding them too. And let's see, a little bit of blue here. So I don't want to lose that circular feeling of the design, so I'm just going to touch this around so I kind of remember what layer I'm in of the rotation. I'm going to pull this blue down in here so they look a little overlapped. This pencil's acting up kind of funny. Doing it lightly so I can decide later if I want to change my mind. This one blue too. And I'm not sure, I think this bubble, yep, this probably would be the bluish too. There is no rules here in terms of making sense of it. I just like to keep that circular feeling. So it seemed to make sense. See how it wrapped around there. Okay, I'm going to start to introduce another color. I'm going to get my purple, and also I'm going to get myself I think maybe a paper towel too. Let's see. Because I feel my hand sweating a little bit, and I don't want to get it on there. Okay, let's sharpen this baby up. Oops. And it cracked. The pencil cracked. It's always sad. Okay, so let's see. How can we start this one? I'm gonna go here. And so where the blue was light, the purple will show a little bit more. And I also could have done that the other direction so that the blue would come from one end and the purple from the other. But we'll get to play with that later. So what I'm trying to do is just mix these two colors, kind of like watercolors here. And a little bit there. Just a little bit. So I'm doing just a little touch of purple, not too much. Pressing pretty hard here. I also like a little texture when it's an organic thing I'm coloring. This definitely has an organic vibe to it. There's water and air and leaves. Doing a circular motion with my pencil leaves some like space for the paper to show through and the color under it. Not too much purple here. I like that one to be more blue. This one pretty dark in here. Just my circles. And I think we'll color that whole little hole green. Yeah, that actually looks kind of cool. Intense right there. I think I might do some more of that. So find some edges to darken up. Yeah, see how that creates like a under-ovary kind of feeling? Oh, that's neat. Okay. All right, now we're gonna go purple, and it's just soft. And we might come in with a little bit of blue after we do this. So let's see this one maybe. And this one. And so my circles here. Nice and soft. So if you go over something by accident, you can erase. It's really hard to get all the color off of your paper, but you could definitely lighten it down. So if you really didn't like something you did, you could try that. With these little bubbles, if you need to just go over it, if you don't have that kind of patience, don't beat yourself over the head. Just color over it. But these little shapes should be kind of calming. You just go and you draw with your pencil and then slowly release the pressure to create that shading. And I'm going to go dark under there. I like to hide the lines by coloring into them. And I think this one too, we're going to go dark in that little point and then soft into here. And I find myself holding my breath sometimes, which is never good. So whenever I go to sharpen my pencil, I take a deep breath. And is our slicing of the cinder blocks in half. You can hear that lovely noise. I'm going to close my window while I do that. Take a couple deep breaths. Turn up our beautiful music today. So the CD I chose for Renaissance is called Music for a Brainwave Massage, Awaken Your Mind and Heal Your Body, Dr. Jeffrey Thompson. Sound Medicine series, not sure. TheRelaxationCompany.com, it says on the back. This is a very old CD. I'm not even quite sure where it's from. But it's a right brain, left brain kind of thing. It works perfect for residents, I think. Pull it down into there. The honeysuckle in my yard was so strong last night. I was so warm. I don't have central air here. And I took a nighttime swim, and I thought, oh my goodness, I wish I could share this with everyone in the world, because it was really spectacular swimming under a starry sky, if you can imagine this. And then honeysuckle, the most wonderful perfume. It was one of those moments I wish I could have bottled and shared with all of you. It was quite lovely. There's something magical about the feel of water and making it almost like a ritual when you take a shower or wash your hands, being really conscious of the feel of the water and how blessed we are to have access to it so easily. And that we're made up of so much water. I think it's like 90% or something like that. I think that's amazing. So this is kind of in the roots. So I'm going to go lightly because I'm not sure what I would like to do here yet. But I know I'd like to blend it in there, so I'm just going to go real lightly with the purple. You can also halo, which means you don't color right up to something. That's definitely a more artsy approach. Do you see how I didn't really come up to that line? And they call that like leaving a glow around what you do. That's just a different way of doing things. I'm trying out new things with you as we go along too. And I think the branches we're going to definitely be highlighting with either a marker or a darker pencil. So I'm going to take this purple all the way around, and for some reason I've chosen the outside edge as the darker edge on all of these. I'm not quite sure why, but I have a feeling it will make sense. And this one too. And we can blend them a little bit, taking the purple into that one. And it looks like this one is going to be a crossover between purple and blue. So fill that in lightly. Highlight that edge a little bit. We made our way around there. This is probably going to be some type of purplish pink. those outside edges. Kind of just a little bit of purple in here to help with the transitions. Okay, so it's got a real soft feel for it, the beginning of that, but I kind of like that. Don't mind it. All right, so let's do a little bit more work here. Gonna go up there. This one. So I'm going dark and then light into it. And you can decide how much you want to go before you switch to something else. So I'm picking that left side edge of the shape as my darker edge. This is like the branches already coming around this. Interesting. It's almost like a rose, isn't it? I didn't really think about that, but it has a feeling of a rose. Maybe that is what I intended. So I'm just going to go soft in this one, just adding a little bit of purple because I'm ready to blend and move on to something else. Just deciding how much I want this circle to expand that I'm working on here. I like it that it gets a little bit bigger, like a nautilus shell kind of opening up. For some reason I left this nice long piece there. You can see some leaves and seeds coming out of there. All right, now we're going to take the blue and go the other direction. I'm actually going to introduce another blue just for fun. Because I can. I have a lot of blues, but if you don't have a lot, yeah, blue. Okay, so here we go. Oh, a broken pencil. I feel like I was drumming with them or something. Why are my pencils breaking? I hate when that happens. Okay, so I'm going to go put some blue in these so that the transition is a little softer. And this blue has a little more of a turquoisey look to it, greeny. I rotate my pencil sometime in my hand to try to get a sharp edge, because if you color for a while on one side and then you turn it, you'll see your edge, there's a sharp edge you've actually created yourself by coloring. So I'm rotating the pencil in my hand to try to find an edge that works. And I'm going to touch some of this blue in here. It's pretty blue. So I'm starting in the light side and going into the purple. So this is a little different than what I did before with the blue. Starting at the light and going into the purple. You could also do it very, very lightly and add just a little touch of that. We're going to be switching over soon, so I'm going to do that. That whole little branch blue, and you'll see it, it's almost like I made room for the branch. It's got a very thin space in there. it's kind of coming on its own. That could also become green, you know. So I'm gonna just outline it now to give it a start. I love the way it's growing across the page. This could be roots or branches or the veins on a leaf, or the veins on your heart or in your skin, in your body. Could be your lungs and your capillaries and all that exciting stuff. They all have that same branching design. The wonders of our creation, right? Boy, Resonance, I didn't realize we were going to be talking so new agey, but we are, so you can mute me if it makes you uncomfortable. This seems to bring out the new agey mater mother in me. All right, here we go. I have a few friends that I think would love coloring this with me. I gotta get them on board. I like the way that worked, so I'm gonna do some more of that. Going dark against that cool leaf. We're gonna make him stick out a little bit. Highlighting that area. Gonna highlight that one too. I use the word highlight, but I don't know if that's really the right word. I like to call attention to something, and sometimes I say highlight. I mean calling attention, not necessarily lighting it different. And here I go back to blue, which wasn't really what I was going to do, but there it is. A little bit of blue in there too. Okay, so now I'm going to get, sorry, I just noticed I can go down here with this. So you're following my ADD artist eye. This is what happens. I get a color and I see where it goes, and there we just take off with it. I jump around the page. It's kind of fun to do that, but it could drive some people crazy. It's up to you if you want to take the ride with me on that. I'm going to go dark under that foot and give it a little bit. So I got that moving a little bit more. Highlight under there. Make that shape come out a little more. I'm going to do one of those U's there. Give a little bit of 3D quality. Darker under there, so it looks like it's coming out. That's that. Could even take that up in there a little bit into that crevice. That's kind of neat. Darken there. Here we go. We're gonna go here. And it looks like this is gonna be blue too. See, it all finds its way somehow. I think we're going to put some green back in that too. So since I'm over here, I'm going to go back and get my green. It's one of the limier greens, I think. Or is this like a Kelly? Let's see. It's a little bit more yellowy green. I'm going to come in here and touch that area, that side of the curve. Not minding the texture pressing pretty hard because I want that little cool space to come out. It's interesting, we're working on the greens and that sounded very jungly. that music. So here we're going to kind of do greens and pinks, so you have to be careful because you don't want it to get too muddy on you. So I'm going over the blues a little bit to integrate. Cool texture happening over here. I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to do my circles because I like it. It looks like there's some bubbles in there. Do my circle texture all the way up into that little crack there. I'm going to press dark in here, make that foot stand out. Dark there. Oh, it's glowing. I really like the way that glows. Lime green and yellow, they are magic, I'll tell you. They create that, so it's like that on stage. I worked with and mentored from a woman. She was an amazing choreographer and teacher, but it was really her storytelling through dance that I really admired the most. And she loved lime green on stage in the fabrics because she always thought it added this like bright mystical magic. And I agree, under stage lights, lime green is just kapow. So I'm going to add a little bit of that in here. It's funny because as dancers, we didn't like to wear our lime green dresses too much, but when we saw them on stage, we understood why. A little bit of magic in there, being gentle because that's over purple. Little magic in here, and our branches, and in here. They look like leaves. Pressing hard because I want to get a nice bright. And it's starting to get a little more organic-y. Cool. I'm going to put some of that green in here too. I like what that was doing. A little echo up in here. Little touches. Fills in that white spot. Cool. All right. Well, that's kind of neat, isn't it? And let's see. Gosh, I almost don't want to stop, but I think what I'm going to do is just experiment a little bit with pink. Just to give us some excitement of what's coming next, so. Introduce that there. And the pink and blue make their own purple, so putting it over that is actually not a bad thing. I don't think I'm going to be in this color pink too long in terms of changing. We're going to start to get peachy and orange, I think. But I don't know. Time will tell. You can certainly play with going in and out of the colors. Just remember, some don't blend like you would think. You know, going purple into yellow, you're going to get yourself a brownie kind of color. So you can always test on a piece of paper, blending things together and see what happens. You might be surprised coming out with some cool combinations. But I don't want you to feel like you went a direction and you can't go back. So it's good to test it Not sure what we're gonna do there, but I think this might be nice as a rose. So I'm going to start some pink in here. Okay, we'll just go like this, and we can work on that next time. So that's it for Resonance today. I hope you had fun. I did. That was a nice trip through those colors. Remember, you can download freebies and subscribe to my website. You'll get an email every week with a freebie of the week and also coupons. So enjoy, everyone. Happy coloring.